What's going on, YouTube? We are back with another episode of the MrPower Podcast. I believe this is episode 33. We're back with part 2 with Manuel Ramirez. You guys know him as Miguel from Power Force. It's been a little minute. How you going? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Was just watching that special on Katrina. It's a 4 episode limited series special. It's a documentary. It's goes to show, man. Shit sad, all the shit that happened, and I don't know, man. All these administrations, all our politicians, it goes to show that we as the American people are always put last while we put everybody else first. It's
Absolutely.
just sad to watch. I'm on heading to episode 4, and we really turned our back on them people, man.
Yeah, I feel like the American people have a tend to turn their backs on everybody. That's a trend of ours.
Yeah. But besides
Yeah,
that, man, I've been good. You know what I mean? God gave me another day. My feet touched the floor. I got to open my eyes. I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. My wife is healthy. I got the love of my wife, the love of my kids, the
yep,
love of my parents, my in-laws. I'm good, man. Life is good. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good.
absolutely. So, just spoke on the family. Man, your TikTok been taking off crazy since the last time we spoke. I went to your page one day. I'm like 200,000. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do you think was the key factor in that?
So the key factor, one of the directors from Power, her name is, shout out to Lisa Dumaine. She got me an audition on Chicago Fire for a fire chief. So at the
Mm.
time, I had this real thick beard, and what I did is I took off the beard and I left the handlebars, like the majority of the firemen have. So I
Yep.
got home from the barber shop, and my daughter was like, I knew she was gonna say something stupid, so I was recording it, and she goes, "Dad, let me see your haircut." So I walk into her room, and she goes, "Ill," and I go, "Ill what?" She goes, "You look like the Lorax." So that right there, it exploded. You know what I mean? And when
Mm.
I tell you, when I tell you that my daughter's like, what you see on TikTok is who she truly is. Like, she's a bitch. Like, straight up to the fifth power. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And she kind of shifted that into like my childhood, how I grew up. So everyone thinks I'm a total asshole, and I yell at my kids and I curse at my kids. I do curse
Mm.
at my kids, but I don't yell at them. I don't mistreat them. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
person that you see on TikTok is actually who my mother was to me growing up. And growing up in a Mexican household, if you're a early millennial or a late Gen X kid, you know that your parents were hard asses. You know what I mean? You're coming
Yep.
from baby boomers, man, and they're no nonsense. Like
Yep.
I thought my name growing up. I thought my name was Hijo de tu puta madre. You know what I mean? Because that's all my mom ever called me, Hijo de la chingada, Hijo de tu puta madre, Hijo de la verga. So I take that aspect of my childhood and I put it into my character on TikTok, and then with my daughter, who is basically playing herself,
Mm.
it just exploded, man. It's family drama, family comedy, and we went from one day, I want to say 25,000 followers to 222,000 followers, I believe we're at right now, and growing. I mean, we get almost 500 followers a day,
Wow.
but it's just the family dynamic. You know what I mean? People my age, Gen X, Gen Z, they can relate to
Mm.
it, and that's what they want to see. I mean, if you look at the comments, I get a lot of, "Oh, you remind me of my dad. You remind me of my mom. I wish my dad
Yep.
was here just to curse at me one more time." You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's what it was. We found a dynamic that worked, and we just keep going with it. And We just do 1 minute skits and just entertain people with their past childhood.
Yeah, I think
You
I
know,
said
it's
this
funny.
before in
I
your
get
last interview. Mhm.
recognized more now for TikTok than I do for Power.
Wow.
Everywhere I go, especially in my city, we're like small celebrities here. And everywhere I go, you're that guy from TikTok. You're that guy from TikTok. And at first they would be like, hey, you're that guy. And I'm like, Power? They're all like, no, TikTok. And I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, I'm that guy from TikTok. So, I get a lot, oh, he's an influencer trying to be an actor. And I'm like, no, I'm an actor
Nah.
with a TikTok.
Yeah. I think it's because of the reach that social media has now, especially with the algorithm. Like the people in your area, if you make content, they're gonna know who you are. Especially if you're in like a smaller area, they're definitely gonna recognize you. I said before in the last interview, like the niche that you're in is perfect because family content can't put a cap on that. Everybody can relate on any scenario. So I definitely am a big fan of that kind of content. I'm
Thank you,
curious,
man.
getting into acting, are there any roles or any opportunities that you've turned down that you regret where you're like, I wish I could have done this or I wish I took that?
You know, um, I guess after you haven't worked in a year, and when, let's say about a year ago, you turned down a role. I turned down a role with a new movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. And I was
Okay.
going to play one of the main bad guys. But you got to remember, Hollywood, man, we're at a point right now where they're taking advantage of actors. When I mean, not necessarily taking advantage, it's more like, hey, this is what it is. Take it or leave it. You either do
Okay.
it or we'll go on to the next guy. So they wanted to pay me $450 a day, but I had to provide my own stay. I had to figure out my way from Yuma, Arizona to Los Angeles, and then I still had to pay for a hotel. Well, let's just say I'm making 450 a day. I still have to pay for a hotel, right? It's what? Minimal $150 a night.
Yep.
And then I still got to provide food. You know what I mean? I still got to provide gas to and from transportation from the hotel to set. So financially, it didn't make sense and I turned it down. But then it's going to get a theatrical release. And now I'm like, bro, that could have been my first theatrical release.
Yeah.
So I think you just, when it comes to acting, you truly just have to make a choice and let it go, because if you just start dwelling on it, you're going to kick yourself in the ass and be like, man, I should have done that, I should have done this. But then I'm saying that now, but what if it flops and nobody watches it? What good did it do me besides having
Yeah.
to come out of pocket, and nobody watched it except for my mom and dad, and me and my wife.
Yeah.
So regrets, I don't live with much of them. I think just when you really start looking at certain aspects of where your life and your career is, that's when you start thinking and you say, "Oh, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have." And then, you know, it releases, and like I said, it flops. Nobody sees it, and then you're just like, "Well, yeah, I made a good choice."
Mhm.
So I try not to live in regret. I just weigh out my options and I say to myself, is it worth me leaving home and being away from my family, my kids, my wife for a month, not to make money and then to put in money? Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I give you an example of one time that it paid off. Um, Hillary Schwenk and Boys Don't Cry. She got paid $3,000 for the whole movie. She was living out of a car with her mother. She won an
Holy
Oscar.
shit. Wow.
So I feel like I don't live in regret because I don't want to ask myself what if. You know what I mean? I've never been a what
Yeah.
if guy. I just weigh out my options and then I let it go. Like, is this worth me leaving my home? That is the main question. You know, is it
Mhm.
going to portray me in a way that I don't want to be portrayed? Is it going to typecast me? Am I okay playing a
Mm.
typecast? So those are all the questions you really have to ask yourself. And then once you make that decision, just stick to it and never really dwell back into it. Just let it go. So yeah, besides that, man, I no regret, man. Um when we got this power offered, my agent was the first one who, we had a conversation. It was just me and her, and she said, this is a typecast role. Are you sure you want to do it? You
Yeah.
know, we can go for other things. You don't have to do this. But I felt like Miguel could have been played different, and Miguel had so many layers. Miguel's like an onion that he had so many layers that I was able to pull back, and he wasn't just going to be your average stereotypical cartel guy.
Mhm.
Because if you really look at your average stereotypical cartel guy, just look at Narcos. Diego Luna, who he was embodying and portraying a real life character, Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, but it was still like there was a stereotype to who Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo was, how he dressed, how he talked, how he acted, what the American cinema is used to seeing in a cartel bad guy. And that was really important when I got with Wardrobe, that we didn't dress him that way, that he didn't
Okay.
dress West Coast, East Coast, or down south in Mexico.
Mhm. So you kind of mentioned that the role that you turned down wasn't lucrative for you financially, right? But do you think there's a role where the script will be good enough where you're working with certain people that you might not have been privy to before, where you're like, I don't even care about the money. I just want to work with these people or these directors to where money isn't even a factor?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I take everything into consideration. You know what I mean? I get it. It was a low independent, it was ultra low budget. It was ultra low budget. They had the money. They could have paid me. You know what I mean? And I'm coming off of
Yeah.
a series regular on Power. It's like, are you really offering me $450 to do this movie when I
Right.
know and I'm telling them, I'll take the money, just cover my hotel. I'll figure out my own way
Mm.
there because I'm 4.5 hours from LA. I live in Yuma, Arizona. I'm 4.5 hours from LA. I'll figure out my own ride there, but just cover my hotel so I can at least pocket the majority of that 450 a day. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can pay some bills. I can send the money home. I don't have to live off top ramens. so, but if the script is phenomenal and I have a cast that, let's say Denzel Washington, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? And they offer, okay, well, you're going to be co-star to Denzel Washington, but we can only pay you $5,000 for the whole movie. Yeah, hell, man, I'm going to do the Terrence Howard and take the money.
Hell
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I get to be with Mr. D. Like,
Yep.
yeah, of course, no doubt.
Yeah.
Sometimes all money ain't good money, and you just put it aside and you say, hey, I'll take the stardom over the cash on that one.
Absolutely. So, has there ever been a role or scene where you question, damn, can I do this shit? Like, can I play this character? Can I channel this energy? Have you ever like second guessed yourself going into a role that you booked?
Yeah, Miguel. When I was auditioning, it was
Really?
actually the callback. Yeah,
Mm.
okay. So the first audition was simple. You know what I mean? It was easy. I fucking blew through it. My wife and I studied the character. We put it together, and we did it. The callback, they sent me 6 pages of just dialogue, just me. which they never, that scene was never put into season two.
Mm.
I don't know what happened in the time from when I auditioned to when we wrapped, that a lot Miguel wasn't supposed to survive, or the way it was written, if it was written according to that way and it wasn't dummy sides, Miguel was supposed to lose everything in season two. And
Mm.
that one scene I'm talking about, it was just 6 pages, man. And Miguel's just like all over the place. Like he's smiling, he's laughing, he's angry, he's pissed, he just everywhere. And they hit me with it, and I got 2 days to perfect that, bro. I'm talking about 6 pages of just dialogue, and I think Tommy has like 2 lines in that. So they said, you're gonna do the last scene, and you're gonna do this scene. This is a new scene. You have 2 days to get it done. I looked at it, I looked at my wife, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And she was like, "You're a fucking actor." She goes, "You can do anything." She goes, "Just take your ass in the room and work on it."
Yep.
So ended up nailing it, man. I guess it's, when it's for you, it's for you. But it can be intimidating. And there's been auditions, man. I auditioned for Lioness, and they gave me a
Mm.
6 pages of nothing but dialogue. Have you seen Lioness?
The show with Sophia, no, what's her name? The woman from
Zoe,
Avatar, right?
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. She's yeah,
yeah.
that show was fire. Yeah.
So there was a scene where there's this guy that's tailing them in season two. I think it was episode 3. Hispanic guy is tailing them. They notice, they run him off the road. They have him on the chair like this, held by his neck. And
Mhm.
it's just his dialogue, man. The whole time he's just going. And it's like 6 pages of dialogue. And I
Wow.
looked at it and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to try to memorize as much as I can on this. And then I'm going to wing the rest, just improv.
Mhm.
And it was one of my best auditions, man. But I was still on power. I think they needed me like completely devoted to Lioness, and they passed and they went with somebody else. But, you get some of these auditions that you're just like, son of a bitch. If this was an in-person audition, I don't know if I could pull it off.
Yeah. 6 pages though, like how normal is that? Is that something that happens often? Because I feel like you're just setting someone up to fail at that point, especially with a short notice, right?
It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time. The worst part about it, and this is what ticks me off about the industry, when they send you 6 pages and then you go back, it finally airs, not you go back, it finally airs, and you know that they went with the look. And you're just like, so why would you send me 6 pages for it? Just
Yep.
give me 4 lines and then determine if my look is what you want. That's
Mm.
what irks
Yep.
me about the audition process, is the fact that if you were just going with a look, why would you give me 6 pages to memorize and you only watch the first 15 seconds? That is annoying.
I feel
But
yeah.
it's like, do you want the job or you don't want the job? That is the question.
Mm. Yep. So
But it happens all the time,
I
man. I
wanted
mean, the the
yeah.
the good thing about the good thing about Miguel, I feel like they just hadn't connected with the right guy for that role, because they had been casting that role 3 months prior from when I auditioned,
Mm.
and they re-released it twice, and they couldn't find the Miguel, and then finally I came up, and they were like, "That's it.
Wow. Timing is everything. Everything. I want to talk
Timing's
about that
everything."
because
And
yeah.
having
Yeah, so
Lady Luck on your side, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a little bit of both: faith, luck, and timing.
yeah. So how long does a show typically take searching for an actor? Like you said they were searching 3 months. Like is that a typical time to cast for somebody?
I don't know the exact process, but I
Mhm.
know that we came up right at the deadline on when we were supposed to start filming. I
Mm,
auditioned mid-April. Our first day of production was supposed to be May 13th. I auditioned in mid-April. My audition process went right up to, I want to say, the first week of May. And then
wow.
as soon as I was told that I booked it, 2 days after that, I was on a plane to Chicago. I was moving to Chicago for 6 months. There was no, where are you going to
Wow.
stay? Where am I going to live? There was none of that, man. I was going to figure that out on the go. I lived in the Best Western for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. Damn. This industry is
So
crazy how you
it's
can just be one place. Yep.
yeah. There's no, you remember, you need the job more than they need you. They can find
Yeah.
somebody else, and everything gets fixed in post. So
Mhm. So
it's
I'm curious, when did you guys finish filming season two?
we finished season 2. I want to say the first week of October
Of last year.
in 2022. Season 2, October 2022. Season 3,
Mhm.
the last week of July.
Okay, so it's been
Because I
about a
was in
year.
Miami. I took my family on vacation to Miami uh, July 19th. July 19th, I received a text message from Joseph letting me know he was on set for his final day on season 3.
Wow. So help me understand this, right? When you wrap a show or a series in this case, what's your mindset like after you wrap? Are you because last time we spoke, you kind of hinted like there might be a spin-off and things of that nature. Are you wondering like, am I gonna be a part of this? Are they gonna call me back? Like, what's the kind of the mindset when you wrap a show?
Well, if I'll give you two different types of mindsets.
Hmm.
Let's just say you don't know there's no talks of a spin-off or anything like that. Your mindset
Yeah.
is, one, you're excited. You can't wait to see everything that you all put together, that you poured your heart and your soul into. But
Hmm.
at the same time, once that subsides, reality hits and you're like, when's the next job coming?
Yep.
How long am I going to be out of work?
Hmm.
Am I going to book something right away? Am I going to be out of work for an entire year? Am I going to be out of work for 2 years? Um, did I do enough in season 2 to kind of put my name out there with casting directors? So you're thinking of all that. Now, when there is talks of there being a spinoff, you know,
Hmm.
at the time my mindset hasn't been, am I going to go to the spinoff? I had a talk with some people, some important people, people who know what's going to happen with the spinoff, and we were told no one was in talks of coming back except, the two main people that the spinoff is going to be about. Everybody else, we could use you later on down the line, but right, that what we were told is the main focus. If we go into pre-production, if we get a writer's room, it's just going to be these people. So you leave the set with that mindset of saying, okay, well, at least there's peace of mind. I know that I'm not coming back. So I got to continue to scratch and make a niche this way instead of the straight and narrow path that I've been on right now.
So,
Uh, do I
wow.
think I may come back? I mean, I, I think it's all going to depend on how people take to Miguel this season. You know what I mean? But being an enemy of Tommy, if Miguel survives, will he go after Tommy wherever Tommy's going to go? You know what I mean? So there's just so
Yeah.
much. You the problem with power, and I've heard you speak on this before, is
Yes.
there's so many characters who were left open.
Yep.
How do you fit all these characters into a new spin-off if
Hmm.
what you're trying to do is save money?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got Woody, you got the girls on. I'm sorry, I've never seen Ghost,
Hmm.
and for my preference, I'll never will. I don't like that show whatsoever. You know what I mean? I'll never
I
take
understand.
time to sit down and watch it. It wasn't the original Power. It wasn't Force season 2, and it wasn't Patina Miller.
Facts.
Mad respect to Patina Miller. She's my
Love Patina
favorite out
Miller.
of all
Shout
the
out
women
Patina.
in the Power universe. But it didn't do it for me, man. I didn't like the show. I didn't like any of the characters. The only character that I thought was funny was Kane. Besides
Woody.
Kane, you know what I mean? I didn't like anybody else. The girls looked like my daughter's age. They weren't attractive to me, you know what I mean? I thought
Yeah.
Patina Miller was very attractive, but that's old Patina Miller with the old lady wig. I don't like the young Patina Miller. You know, I'm 45 years old, man. I don't
Yep.
look at these girls and I'm like, oh man, she's hot. So for me, it wasn't about that. It was more about storytelling, and I
Hmm.
don't think Ghost was there. But when it comes to the spinoff, is you have Braden, you have Kane, you have the love interest of all the guys. You know what I mean? You got Method Man, you got Tasha. So you
Yep.
got all these characters on that side, and then you come to the four side, and you have Diamond,
Hmm.
Jannard, Shanti, Vic, the federales,
Yep.
when I mean federales, the cops,
Yep.
Miguel, um, Mireya,
Damn.
the Serbs, the Marquez. Like there is so many loose ends that how do you incorporate these in a spin-off? It's too many storylines to touch when it's just easier to write something new. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But at the same time, you're going to piss off a lot of people who, because not every, I mean, everyone's a Tommy lover. Everyone's a Tyreek lover, but there's characters that you grow to like that you're like, fuck. Like for me, my favorite character is Jannard.
Yeah, I like
Like
Janard.
people hate Jannard, but that only tells you that you hate him because he's a good fucking actor. Chris
Bingo.
Lofton, that dude deserves his flowers, man. He
Hmm.
deserves his fucking flowers. That dude is badass. And I love Jannard because, like I told him before, I go, you are a snake. I say, you will kill your own mother if it means you getting out of jail and surviving a bullet.
Mm, yep.
So it's like, I like him, but he's in Chicago, and who Jannard is, I can't see him being a formidable foe heading to, let's say, California, if it's going to be in California, or Miami, or
Mm,
Seattle, wherever the legacy is going to take place. I don't see him being smart enough to being a formidable foe for Tyreek and Tommy. And then let's say Miguel, let's just say Miguel survives. I don't if Tommy doesn't keep Chicago, or even if he does keep Chicago, if they become allies or they become enemies, why would he go? What is the need for Miguel to leave his operation and go wherever Tommy's at?
Exactly.
So there's so many loose ends, man. But you're gonna piss off a lot of people because we're gonna be like, well, what about Jannard? Like me. Fuck, man. I used to watch this in part because of Jannard. I don't want to watch it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to piss off a lot of people because they're going to want to know what happened with this person and what happened with this person. And when we left off, this happened and they were in coup, or this happened and this was his biggest enemy. And it's like, so everything that happened in Ghost, everything that happened in Force, it just never happened.
Oof.
It's like we're going new.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying? It's you're gonna piss off a lot of people. You're not gonna satisfy anybody. We're gonna tune in though. It's power. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? We're gonna tune in. It's power. It's Tommy. I'm not tuning in because of Tyreek. I'm gonna tune in because of Tommy. Tommy's one of
Mm.
my favorite characters.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna keep watching it, Joseph Sikora, Gary Lennon will be writing. I know it's gonna be a good drug series. And I'm
Hmm.
gonna act like I don't remember what happened in Force and what happened in Ghost. You know what I mean? I'm gonna act
Yeah.
like it's a whole brand new series.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I'm gonna be like, well, shit, what happened to Mireya? What happened to Ghost? Where is Kane? Last we heard, he was on the run.
Yeah.
Did he stay on the run? Did he die? Did he get caught? Is he in prison? You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So there's all these questions, but you're just gonna act like it didn't happen and you're gonna move forward. But I mean, I don't know. I think when when the dust settles and Force is done, could there be some characters heading over there? Maybe. We know with Ghost, if it goes back to New York, I'm sure is gonna come back.
Yeah. Probably.
Whoever played Tyreek's love interest will probably be involved.
Hmm.
But they did this to save money. You start bringing in all these names, you're going to start upping the budget again, and we're back to the same boat. Like, why did we cancel those two shows in the first place? Why not just
Yeah.
you know collaborate them together and keep the same people? But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not the executives, I'm not the writer, I'm not in the writers room. I wish I was a fucking fly on the wall right now and listening in. Is fucking Miguel coming back? It's
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you touched all of that. That makes a lot of sense because when I be saying all the stuff you said, people are like, "Oh, you're a hater." I'm like, "No, I'm just being logical." Like when you have all of these characters and all of these actors, and then you're cutting these shows to shrink it into one, I feel like it just contradicts it because if you're bringing all those people back, well, you're gonna have to pay them anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the difference? You might as well just kept those shows going. Um,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. And it's like I guess if you haven't worked, you're gonna take whatever crumbs they throw at you.
yeah,
But if you're a fan favorite, let's just say Miguel becomes a fan favorite, I'm gonna want to make what I was making on Force.
absolutely.
I'm not gonna take a 80% cut to save you
Mm-hmm.
money
Mm-hmm.
and give you Miguel all over again for pennies on the dollar. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll pass. So that is the thing. Like we said, you're doing this to save money, but then you want to bring all these people back and tie in loose ends. It like I said, it's better to just spin off and go in a brand new direction and act and hope that people don't ask questions. And if they do, that Thursdays at midnight, well, Friday at midnight, that they're tuning in to watch what you have to offer in possibly a watered down show with a million questions. Because I'll
So
tell you one thing, man, people,
yeah.
the power fans, they are lethal.
Oh hell yeah.
They are lethal. They will swallow you up and spit you out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
On my TikTok, I still get, I can't wait till Tommy kills you. You know, I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. Well, you're gonna stay waiting because you ain't watching it until November 7th. So,
Yeah. I
but
want to
it's
talk about that too. This release date. I don't know how you felt about it, but I was very frustrated with the whole teasing of you tease a release date that's 3 months away. How are
well,
we supposed to take that?
okay. So you're mad because they teased the release date. I don't even know if you're getting a trailer tomorrow. I'll tell you the truth.
So what are they counting
I know
down
they have
for?
an announcement. They're gonna do an announcement. I'm probably not supposed to say that. I get in trouble for it, but who cares?
What?
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're supposed to do an official announcement tomorrow, but I don't even think you're getting a trailer. We're 2 months out. Why would they give us a trailer?
Yeah. And I was curious
And
because they posted on the Power Stars page, not the Force Stars page. So I felt like if it had something to do with Star Force, where they would have just collaborated, or they would have just posted on the Force page. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's very strange.
I don't know what they're doing, but I will tell you it's annoying. What before that, because I don't want stars to think that I'm talking shit about them. Like I told you in the last podcast, as an
Mhm.
employer, I have nothing bad to say about stars. They're fucking great, dude. They took care of me. They showed me love. Even this year for my birthday, they still sent me a $500 tequila bottle. You know what I mean? As a
Hey,
gift for my
okay,
birthday.
that's fire.
So
Wow.
so I have nothing negative to say about stars. They are one of the best fucking employers I ever worked for. As a fan, bro, two fucking years, over two
Crazy.
fucking years.
Yeah.
And I get what you're doing because you're opening up the writers room for Power Legacy
Yep.
in September. So if you ask me from the writer's point of view, from the EP's point of view, are you waiting to see what transpires with Force? Who if the people want to continue to see Jannard, if the people want to continue to see Vic,
Ooh.
if the that want to continue to see Lily, Diamond, I get
Yep.
what you're doing from a business side. You don't want to have a large gap, and you've been able to kind of space it out with BMF, which I've never even seen because it looks
Lucky
like
you.
garbage.
Yeah. Don't waste your
I'm
time.
glad. I'm glad I never seen that. And I hear so much bad reviews on it, and I don't
Yeah.
mean to talk bad about them, man. But hey, good work is good work. Bad work is bad work. You know what I mean? And when you do bad work, I'm not going to give you my money. I'm not going to. I don't care if it's $2. I'm not spending $2 to watch BMF a month. I get crazy. I'll take those $2 and go buy me a snack wrap. But you know,
Yeah.
I get why you're doing it this way from the business aspect. But as a fan, bro, 2 years. That's why I give my money to Paramount. Paramount, I get my shows no more than a year after.
Yeah. Every six
You know, I
months.
got I
Yeah. They
got
on
Tulsa
point.
King coming back September 21st, and it,
Ooh.
it
Yeah.
ended
Yeah.
the beginning of this year. You know what I mean? I
Wow.
got the new Yellowstones are about to start dropping. Like Paramount is on it when it comes to their fans. They take
Mm.
care of you. They love you. They sit there. Hey, put it out. Give them the content. Give them the content.
Yep.
And Stars is more like, oh, it's all right. They'll tune in anyways. And that's how I feel as a fan. Like I said,
Yep.
I want to emphasize as an employer, they're the shit. I love them.
Yeah.
I got nothing but love for them, for all of them. Lionsgate, Stars. But as a fan, I feel like they're like, who cares? They're gonna watch it anyways. We'll release it whenever the fuck we want to release it. And that's what irks me from a fan's point of view. So when I
Mhm.
seen November 7th, I was almost positively sure it was going to release October 3rd.
Wow.
Because what is it? This Friday is the last episode of BMF, right?
Yep.
So then that would give us a month and a half. They release the trailer tomorrow. A month and a half, we get Force. That's how I thought it was going to play out.
Hmm.
But now they're saying November 7th, which I'm like, okay, so then we're not getting a fucking trailer tomorrow. Now I'm even more pissed. Why even give me a date and not give me any trailers? What are you going to do? You're going to give me
Yeah.
some pictures? Some set
Yeah.
stills? Like, no, I don't care about that. I want to see, from a fan's point of view, I want to see a fucking trailer, man. It's been two
Yeah.
damn years. And all you gave me was a 30-second teaser. Like, you better chop that motherfucker up and give me like a good 3 trailers
Yeah.
before the damn series airs.
Yeah. At least, man. I'm glad that you're saying all this because it. Now I know it's not just me who feels like this. As a fan, even though you're an employer, you feel the same way that the fans do. But I'm curious, like, as someone who's on the show, like, how frustrating is it to shoot something and then you got to wait so long to see like the finished product, to see what you did. Like, I'm sure you want to see like, oh, how did I perform? How does it look? Everything together. Like,
Of
I feel like
course.
that's
And
nerve
not just
wracking.
that,
Yeah.
man. It 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 gives you momentum as an
Mm,
actor when you're on the air and there's things that they're casting for. What as you are being submitted over, they're sending over your stuff, they're sending over your reel, and then they tell him he's currently airing on Power Force. That develops
mm,
momentum. That develops casting directors watching you and wanting to
mhm.
cast you in other stuff. If you're a working actor, then people want to work with you. If you
Facts.
haven't worked, see, that's the problem with this industry. Let's just say 5 years ago, you were a working actor. You worked, you were constantly on set, you were constantly on TV. 5 years later, you take a hiatus, you try to make a comeback. It's like you haven't been in this industry. You're going to start all over again. And that is the
Yep.
problem, that when you're not airing, it's like starting all over again. All the big
Mm,
big names, or the names who are a little bigger than you on a higher level, they're getting all the jobs because they're still working and they've been working for the last 10 years, and
yeah.
you've just consistently worked for the last 3.
Mm,
So technically, even though in the Power universe people know who Miguel Garcia is and they know who plays him, the industry doesn't.
yep.
You know what I mean? Power has its cult following,
Yeah, it does.
but it doesn't necessarily mean that the industry is part of Power's cult following.
Yeah.
So
I'm
even though
glad
I'm
you.
known on
Mhm.
this side's like, who is he?
Yeah. I think I seen Woody McClain in an interview saying something similar. He said that like people see him and they think that he's getting all these opportunities because of power. But he's saying that when he's walking into these rooms, like they don't know power. They haven't watched power. Like they're not viewing
Mm-mm.
these shows. So it's crazy. Like, yeah, they have a cult following, but overall, power doesn't get like the spotlight. And also you mentioned how the momentum of you being on TV with the cast, like I never thought about that. Like, oh, well, yeah, if you're on TV right now, they might think, oh, okay, he's working. Let's try to cast him. Is that something that you're constantly thinking about? Like, oh, well, if I'm on this show, then maybe this casting director for this project that I want to do will see me, and then, or is it just like, no, I just want to be on air just so I can look like
Well,
I'm working?
you want to be on there, as an actor. You want to be on there because you like these shows. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're a fan of them. A lot of the shows that I want to get on, I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
But I'm lost my train of thought. But if you are on that show, let's just say I get off Power.
Mhm.
I don't work for 6 months, and then I get on Chicago Fire,
Mhm.
and Chicago Fire is airing. Now casting directors and industry executives look at it and they're like, "Oh, he's on TV," which means if we put him on this show, his fans are going to tune in to watch his show. That's how that
Mm.
works.
Okay.
They're looking at it as if your fan base will trickle over to watch this show. The thing about Power, and I hate to sound stereotypical,
Yeah.
outside of the black and the Hispanic community and the white community that Braden portrays, no one really knows Power in this industry. You understand
That's a
what I'm
fact. That's
saying?
a fact. That's a fact. That's a
No
fact.
one, no one knows Power.
That's
If you go to your
yeah.
average casting director who's casting Chicago Fire, who's casting Chicago PD, Chicago Med, The Bear,
Mhm.
those people aren't
Mhm.
watching Power. They're watching that
Yeah.
watered down gang drama instead of people who come from neighborhoods, from black neighborhoods, from Hispanic neighborhoods, the white boy who grew up black or grew up Latino. No one's watching Power.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. That same thing that Woody said. I walk into these casting rooms, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, you were recently on Power." Yeah, I played Kane. Oh yeah, I played Miguel. Oh, did you watch it? No. What kind of character was Miguel? It's like what I told you earlier, that people recognize me on the street. They're like, "You're that guy from TikTok. You're that
Mm.
I hate it when they call me that influencer from TikTok, because I'm not an
Yeah.
influencer. I'm an
Yeah.
actor who has a TikTok. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I just happen to find the niche, and I'm able to entertain you, and I'm able to pay my bills through TikTok, which
Yep.
I'll tell you, the industry isn't paying my bills. It's TikTok and my wife's job. So
Yep.
they know me more through that than they do Power. And that is
That's
the
crazy.
problem in this industry, that unless I'm like what's his name? Pedro
Pedro Pascal.
Pascal. He's on
Yeah.
the Last of Us. Unless
Yeah.
you're in a show like that's HBO, and you have a big white community watching it, ain't nobody know who I am.
That guy's in everything
And
though.
I'm
Like
not
he's
getting
literally in
casted
everything.
because I'm not on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. So when you take a role like Power, do you know this going in? Like, number one, I might get typecast or playing this role, and number two, this doesn't have the audience that could translate to me getting roles that I might want. Do you know that going in? Do you
Oh yeah,
care?
of course, of course. I mean, I knew Power was big, but I knew Power was big in just certain communities,
Hmm.
and it's okay. It's I seen it as a building block. So once I get into this community, they know who I am,
Hmm.
and hopefully I can develop enough momentum that now I can get on like the Bear.
Mm.
If I
Yep.
take all this off, man, I could play a cook on the Bear. I could play a sheriff deputy, on sheriff
Yeah.
country, or fire or a
Uh-huh.
firefighter on fire country. Like I can change the way I talk. I'm a damn chameleon. I can do it. But
Mhm.
you have to build towards that as a Latino actor, because I mean, it wasn't until recently that we were let in as much as we're working now. You know what I mean? We
Yep.
still have years of hustling and grinding you guys have been hustling and grinding since the 60s in this industry. So you've already made that niche to get in there. You know what I mean? As a black actor
Yeah.
or a, a black actress like Viola Davis, bro. Fuck, I love her. She's probably, I would probably have to rank her above Denzel as my favorite artist, but
Oof.
they've already they got that niche. You guys have paid your dues. You guys scratched and said, "Hey, fuck, we deserve this. We can act." And trust me when I tell you, your community is just amazing, amazing. I so many actresses. And honestly, I think your actresses are better than your actors, but which they're great. But Viola Davis, Kerry Washington, bro. Oh my God, like.
Debatable, 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 debatable.
Ah, bro, fences?
Is it?
Fences?
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
man, you
yeah.
gotta give me
Hey,
Viola
hey,
Davis
but
on
you gotta
fences.
think.
She
You gotta
ate
think.
up Denzel.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She did.
But she was, I was right there with you. And that snot's coming down her nose, bro.
Yeah,
Man, I was crying with
I
her, bro.
yeah. She's
But
phenomenal. But then you still got the Samuel Jackson and the Jamie Foxxes. There's a couple.
bro, Samuel
Yeah,
Jackson and Django.
yeah. Both of them in Django.
Samuel Jackson and Django. I heard
Yeah.
6 shots. I heard 2 guns. You know? But I'm just saying, you guys have already paid your dues. You're there, but for us, it's still a hustle because they barely started opening up roles for us. That's not the gardener, that construction worker, the LAPD, the gangster, the cellmate one, cellmate two, Gangbanger 1, Gangbanger 2, the Hector. You know how many roles I see? Because I get the breakdowns from my manager. You know how many Miguels she sends me? Like Miguel on this
A
show,
lot.
Miguel on that show. There's no more Hector. Now it's Miguel. Before it used to be Hector. Now it's
Wow.
Miguel. So it's it's tough, man. It's very tough to try being a Latino actor right now in Hollywood is very, very tough.
Mhm.
And it doesn't help when we have a lot of crabs in the bucket too,
Yeah.
and they've developed these little tight niches and they become gatekeepers. And see,
Mm.
that's the difference between my community and your community helps each other out. My community kicks you in the throat and says, oh no, he's going to take my job. Instead of looking at it and saying, hey, you know what, this pot of soup is big enough for all of us to eat, but we don't see
Yeah.
it that way, man. We're too afraid to help another Latino out because we feel like, oh, he's gonna take my spot, he's gonna get the next
Mhm.
job. Well, who cares? It was meant for him. So
Yep.
for we have a saying, a Mexican's biggest enemy is another Mexican, and there's so much truth to that. And then the
Mm.
industry isn't letting you in. So that's why it's like we need to get we want to book these roles to develop momentum so we can get those building blocks to put ourselves in front of other communities who appreciate our art, and we can continue working.
Yep. Yeah. It's crazy that you say that because I would argue it's just as worse in our community. It may not seem that way, but oh my God, we got some of the most gatekeepers you'll see out there. Mainly because of what you said. Oh, well, if this person gets this role, then, maybe I won't be able to do this and do that and do that. I feel like in every community, there's a little bit of that. Like, I don't want to see this person get ahead of me, especially if they look like me. But I'm curious, like, when you see someone like Pedro Pascal, who's had like a late surge in his career, does that not make you think like, okay, maybe the doors are opening up a little bit, or Or you're just like, maybe he's an anomaly? Because I see him in every fucking thing now. I'm like, damn, dude, can they cast
Oh
anybody
yeah,
else?
I mean, look, he's Fantastic Four. I know he's
Yeah,
gonna come out in the Avengers.
yeah, both
You know,
Secret Wars and
he's
Doomsday.
doing everything, and he's had a late surge, and I
Yeah,
think that's what keeps me going in this industry is Samuel Jackson's story. He had a late surge. He
yeah,
didn't work early in his
yeah.
career. You know, he didn't really start working until Coming to
Like
America.
44.
After that,
Yeah,
it was like boom. He was in everything. You know what I mean?
yep.
Uh,
Hmm.
Pedro too. It's like right after Narcos, and that's now as an older actor because I was watching a TikTok. This dude's been working, man, since he was like a teenager, but I
Yeah,
ain't never seen him in
crazy.
anything before Narcos. So
Yeah,
that
he
to
was in Game
me
of Thrones, I
is
think.
was he?
Yeah, yeah,
Never
yeah.
seen it. Never seen it. But you know that
Yeah,
that that is what continues to push me to okay. It's been a year. Uh, Tough times don't last. Tough people do. I just gotta
bingo.
tough it out. I gotta stay the course, and God will provide. That's my mindset.
100%. So, what is one thing about Miguel's character that you feel like is misunderstood?
Oh man, and I say this all the time. Miguel Miguel truly is not a bad person.
Oof.
You know what I
You gotta
mean?
sell me on that. You gotta sell me on that.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. If Miguel owned a Fortune 500 company,
Okay.
which it well, we're going to say is Chicago,
Hmm.
and you got another corporation trying to take it over, you're going to do everything in your means and your power to fight back, right?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to take food away from his plate, from his sister's
Mm-hmm.
plate, from his mother's
Mm-hmm.
plate, from those that he
Mm-hmm.
cares about, his organization, the Insane Princes. You're
Mm-hmm.
that's Tommy. He's coming in. He's trying to take something away from Miguel that he built. He's trying to take his livelihood. If you don't mess with his livelihood, he'd leave you alone. But when you start fucking with his family, when you start fucking with the food on his plate,
Yep.
then you're unleashing the devil.
Mm.
So all he wants to
Okay.
do, he just wants to work and feed his family, man. But Tommy wants something that's his.
Mm.
So is he truly a bad guy? Or is he just defending what is his?
I mean, it's hard to say because of the lifestyle that they're living in, you know? Yeah. Like if it was a
That
legitimate
I could
business,
understand, but he's
yeah.
only killed people who had it coming.
True, true, true. Very
He's
true.
not running around killing innocent people. If you steal from him, he'll break your hands.
Yep.
If you steal from him, he's going to kill you. But if you leave him alone and you just let him conduct his business, you won't even know he exists.
So, were there any scenes in season 2 of Force that you guys filmed for your character that never made it to screen?
I there wasn't there wasn't scenes that were cut. There was dialogue. There was
Mm,
certain
okay.
things, that dialogue was cut short, and you're just like, oh man, the beginning of this was dope, and it sounded a little off, especially the Spanish, because
Mm,
I
hmm.
know Spanish.
Yeah.
I was able to pinpoint where certain dialogue was cut off, but
Okay.
where scenes didn't make it, no. In season 3, there were scenes that were written that you got to remember. But this is in the writers' room. This happens all the time. When you get a script, the script is 58 pages long. It has to be cut down to 43 pages, which is 43 minutes. 58 pages
Wow.
is 58 minutes. So now you have what? Freaking 15 minutes you have to cut off. So
Damn.
there's scenes that are not going to make it. You'll get the script a week in advance. You'll look at it, and then they're still doing edits. And then you'll get the pink copy, and then you'll get the yellow copy, and then you're going to get the green copy. And then at the very end, you get the 43-minute script. And this is still changing as we're filming.
Wow.
It could be the last day on episode 5, and they might call and say, "Hey, we are taking out scene 34 on page 41." And you're like, "Oh, okay, so that's gone."
Damn.
So that does, and then they still cut in post production because they have to make it 43 minutes.
Damn. So you learning all these lines just for them to cut 15 minutes of it.
Yep,
Why don't they just give you the 43 minutes or the 43-minute pages like up front instead?
because they don't know what they want to keep.
Ah. So they're
They
making
don't know what
changes to
makes
the script
sense.
while you're filming.
Yeah. While we're filming the episode, they're making changes to the script. There's things being,
Wow.
they call it omitted. OMITTED. This
Mhm.
scene was omitted. So that's what they're doing. As we're filming all the way up to the last day of production on that episode, there's things still being pulled out. And then it makes it to post production,
Mhm.
and they got to make sure it flows.
Wow. How difficult does that make your job when you don't know what's going to stick and what's going to come out at any given time?
You know what? I never really let it get to me. I didn't think too much into it.
Hmm.
I just went to work. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
were paying me great money. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't bother anybody. I didn't let anything get to me. I walked on set, punched the clock, did the best that I could, and then punched out and went to my apartment. I think when you
So,
let things like
yeah.
that get to you is when it really throws you off.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you're always prepared, it really doesn't matter what they throw at you. You already know what you need to do.
Yeah, yeah. Got to stay ready so you don't got to get ready. So, how much input did you have in shaping who Miguel's character ultimately became?
Man, they let me do damn near whatever I wanted.
Really?
Like there's certain things that I added, but the Spanish was all me completely. Like it was all rewritten because I feel like they use Google Translate and it just didn't make no sense. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
made no
Yeah.
sense the way it was written. So I would just rewrite. I would rewrite everyone's Spanish, man. I should have got a writer's credit on season 2 and 3. I didn't get a damn
Producer.
writer's credit, you know. And
Yep.
on season 3, they actually gave me even more leeway. Gary
Wow.
Lennon in our initial meeting when I first got to Chicago, he was like, "Hey," he goes, "you got full range to do whatever you want." He goes, "If it's something that doesn't work," he goes, "we'll figure it out in post."
Wow.
There's a really cool scene. There's a really cool scene that that I can't talk about it because
Yeah.
it's in
Yeah.
season
Yeah. I
3,
know.
but
I know.
there's a really cool scene and something that I did that is just it's just gonna throw you for a loop. But we're at the table read, and when I did it, everyone lost their shit. They just couldn't stop laughing. And you'll know exactly once when you start fucking laughing, you're just gonna laugh so fucking hard, and it's gonna be something that Miguel normally you would not expect him to do. But I added that. I added that. And then I remember calling them and asking them a question. And I was like, "Is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do?" They're all like, "Yeah. I love it. I love it. We're going to, yeah, go ahead, do it." So I did it at the table read. Everyone lost their shit. And all the writers were like, "Yeah, I'm going to say I wrote that."
So you mentioned Gary Lennon kind of giving you that green light. Kind of talk about his impact as a writer, producer, showrunner. Like, what was it like working with Gary Lennon? Because I know he's also going to be the showrunner of Power Legacy.
Gary Lennon, one, is a phenomenal writer. He's always in the writer's room. I mean, constantly in the writer's room. He's always changing things.
Mm,
We would be constantly on the phone when it came to the characters. I didn't bother him too much because I'm the kind of person, like I said, I go to work, punch my clock, do my thing, go back to my apartment. I don't, I like to be the one that you see the least. You know what I mean?
mm,
I'm not in
okay.
your face. I'm not calling you. I don't need anything from you. If there's an emergency, I'll reach out to you. If there's not, you're not even going to know I'm there. But
Wow.
working with him, he directed an episode. He is phenomenal, dude. Like on the go, he's thinking, on the go, he's writing. As we're filming, he's writing. As we're filming, he's changing. Like the dude is a genius, man. When it comes to, you'll look at him and you would never think this guy lived the life that he lived. Like his brothers, I believe they were bikers, dude. He lived the
Wow.
life of crime. He was a orphan at a very young age. Like he'll tell you the
Wow.
story. He got his teeth kicked out, every single one of his teeth kicked out of his mouth. Like he was
Wow.
homeless. The dude lived on the streets. The dude was Tommy, like literally.
He was a G.
But when you meet him and you talk to him, he's the sweetest, most nicest guy you're ever gonna meet, man. And such a brilliant mind when it comes to writing. I don't know of any stuff that he's written that's not gangster, but what I can tell you, like, power would not be power and force would not be force if it wasn't for Gary.
Mm, yeah, I
Gary's
agree with that.
brilliant mind is amazing. He's just, I would love to work with Gary forever.
So we talked about the spinoffs, right? Power Legacy, and there's also another spinoff, Power Origins, that just got greenlit. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a show that like you're looking forward to? I know you were a fan of the OG Power and kind of Ghost and Tommy. So what do you think of that show, the prequel
Which one?
universe?
Origins?
Yeah,
Origins or Legacy?
Origins.
Origins. You know what? It's Sasha, and Sasha did a phenomenal job on Kanan.
Yep.
That I know, Sasha. I don't know Sasha's age, so I can't tell you that Sasha is like a younger Gary. But I would probably say they were both cut from the same cloth, except you have a
Mm,
modern gangster and you have the '80s, '90s gangster.
hmm
So if I had to say, is it going to be a hit? You got the kid who plays Kanan coming back.
Yep.
I mean, unless they fuck up the casting, and you have to get it perfect. Unless you fuck up the casting,
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
can't just get any white kid to play Tommy, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Joseph
That
Sikora put that bar so high
so
for
high.
Tommy. You better
Yep.
you better nail the walk. You better nail the comic relief.
Yep.
You better nail the accent, and
Hmm.
you better be that white boy who should have been black. You know, we should have been born black, because
Yeah.
if if they fuck up Tommy, it's gonna fuck up the whole series. Ghost, I think Ghost is easier to cast than
Really?
Tommy.
Why is
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I just think any black actor, just like any Latino actor, we can if you get a kid who has talent and a kid who studies can play a bad guy. We can all play a bad guy. To me, or maybe I'm talking from my perspective. To play a bad guy is the easiest thing, just a regular bad guy. But to play Tommy, Tommy's such a special and iconic character. If you ask me, Ghost wasn't iconic. He wasn't a character that I can say, God, he was phenomenal. I watched it because of Ghost. I watched it because of Tommy. Everything of Tommy, it was like watching a theater actor live a gangster life. Watching Ghost, I just think any actor, any black actor can pull that off. That is easier to pull off than Tommy.
Wow. They're
Kanan,
gonna kill you in
it
the
took a
comments for
special
that.
person to pull off Kanan. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where I'm talking about getting into an iconic character.
Hmm.
50 elevated that damn character so high that you better not fuck up that casting, a younger Kanan.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with Tommy. Don't fuck up the Tommy casting. I think the Ghost casting will be easy to do, but Tommy, I don't know, man. I'm just jocking Tommy, I guess. I'm a big Tommy fan.
Yeah, I'm glad you
It's
said
like
that
getting a younger
because
Gennard, bro. You have to that character's iconic. You have to get a character who knows how to play a snake, you know what I
yeah,
mean, a weasel, and be able to pull it off. Like Origins is to me it's gonna be dope. They have the right EP. They're gonna have if they bring down, which they probably will, bring down the same writers room, it's going to be a hit. It's just gonna be a continuation from Kanan. And please don't get rid
yep.
of Patina. Find a way to bring Patina back. If you
I
ask me, I have to agree with you. I heard you touch on it before. That show truly was Patina's show.
oh yeah, for sure.
Patina
Yeah,
Patina was so underrated on that show because, raising Kanan. But if you
yeah,
ask me, Patina made that show. Every
100%
scene
agree.
with Kanan, she made it. Every scene with her brothers, she made them. Every scene with Joey Badass, she made it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
she it should have been Patina Miller, Power Patina Miller, or Rack. You know what I mean? She was
Yeah,
so dope in that show, bro.
yeah. I feel like that's one of those scenarios where you just have someone who's so talented that like outshines everybody. Because going in, like I really thought the show was going to be about Kanan, but when you watch it, it really doesn't feel that way. He just feels like he's just there.
Yeah,
He's just there.
that's what it felt like. I'll
Yeah,
give you an example. Very first episode where Kanan gets his ass beat,
yeah,
and she grabs the sock. And I
yeah.
remember this because I used to go to school with a sock, and we used to put batteries in the sock, and then we tie it
Mm,
together, and then we just swing it and hit people in the head with it when we get into like a fight.
okay.
So when she was doing that, I was like, this bitch is gangster. Like she's gangster. That's a gangster ass move. And then she
Yeah.
makes him go to the park
Mm,
and beat that kid's ass.
yep.
And she's just sitting there smoking her
Just
cigarette, watching. Oh,
yeah.
but
Yeah. I don't think I've ever
Origin,
seen yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a female actress it's captivated me like that on screen, especially not a black one in a role like that. Well, I feel like you just don't see women in powerful roles like that in general. Like it's usually the guy who's playing that role who's telling everybody what to do and shit. But to see a woman,
exactly.
it's very rare to see that and
And
pull it
and
off.
see, not to put down the actress who played Tasha, but Bettina Miller is if you're ever gonna do a spin-off on a woman power character, because I've heard it around, they floated it. I don't want to watch it. I don't think it would work. But if you were going to do a spin-off on one of the females on Power, it better be Bettina Miller. It better
Ooh,
be Rack.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to see Mary. I don't want to see Lala. I don't want to see Tasha, Effie. I don't want to see any of them. Give me Rack.
Yeah, I agree. That's assuming that she survives, though, which I'm not 100% sure that that'll be the case.
I, if you ask me, I don't think she is, man. I think they have to
Yeah.
kill her off, kind
Yeah.
of to grow Kanan. Now
Hmm.
that Breezy, that's his name, right? Breezy. Now that
Breeze.
Breezy's here, and you're gonna, and you're gonna bring in Tommy, and you're gonna bring in Young Ghost. You, there's no room for wreck.
Yeah.
But if they
So
ever do a spinoff on a female character, it better be wreck,
I
and
watch
it
it
better
for
be
sure.
Patina Miller. I don't want to see anybody else play her.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think they would ever dare recast that role. The Power fans would not have that. So a couple more questions before we get out of here. If Miguel were to get a spinoff, right? Say he survives this season, how would you envision his show and his story moving forward? Say Tommy doesn't kill him, Tommy goes off to another city, Miguel stays in Chicago. What do you envision for Miguel's character?
I would say send him to Phoenix,
Hmm.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Why? Cause you live
The
there?
reason now I'll tell you why. Now I'll tell you why Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix,
Okay.
Arizona. Well, right now there's a power struggle. There's a I don't know if you keep up with the cartels and all the shit that's happening down in Mexico,
Hmm.
but Phoenix, Arizona is the main distribution hub. The drugs come in through San Luis, Arizona. They travel through Yuma. They go to Phoenix. From Phoenix, they send them back down into California. Then they go up to Seattle. And that's the distribution that goes to Chicago. From Chicago, it used to be the Flores twins, and they would distribute to Miami, to New York, and every other place in the US. But everything starts in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
That is the main hub. So I would say send them to Phoenix. And you can definitely, Phoenix is a major hub for cartel activity.
Wow. I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. That or send them to LA. You know how
Okay.
much love Miguel would get in LA?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be LA without Mexicans.
So, another question. What's the wildest thing that a Power fan has ever done or said to you?
You know what, man? I think because I played the character so well, they're more afraid of Miguel
Hmm.
because they think that I really am that person.
Yeah.
And they're very cordial and short. I think the craziest thing, I went to Joseph Sikora sent me tickets to go watch 50 in his show here in Phoenix.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting there and I'm walking, dude. I had never been recognized so much in one night. I must
Wow.
have took like 50 pictures that day.
Oof.
I walk in, there's this lady just staring at me, right? And she sends her husband to my sister's girlfriend, and she asks him, "Hey, is he from Power?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah." So he goes, "My wife wants to take a picture with him." And then she looks at me, she goes, "Hey, his wife wants to take a picture with you." And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, 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 of course." So I walk over and I shake her hand, I shake his hand, you know what I mean? And she's all like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." So she grabs me from my arm and she's just like won't let go of me. And her husband's right next to me. Her husband's right next to her, and she goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "You're better looking in person." And I'm like, "Lady, I'm thinking about my your
Yo.
husband's here, his cousins are here. You about to get me jumped right now."
Oh shit.
And she's just looking at me with like hearts in her eyes, and I'm just like, "Hey, bro, I'm not hitting on her, bro. I'm just trying. You asked me to take a picture. That's all I'm doing."
Yo, you're breaking up
So then I
families.
shake her hand to go away. She won't let my hand go.
Wow.
And I'm just like, all
Hmm.
right, I gotta go before I get my ass beat.
Wow.
So I
That's
think that was
crazy.
like the craziest thing that's ever happened, man. But when it comes to like male fans, they're very respectful. I think
Mhm.
they They respect more the art, the craft, and the fact that they really think I'm Miguel.
Yeah. I can't imagine I'm with a girl and she's calling another guy handsome. Like I go crazy. I'll probably crash out. I
I
probably
would
crash
too,
out.
man. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
What do you mean he's
yeah,
handsome? What am I, Chuck
yeah,
Liver?
yeah.
But that's probably the something that just threw me for a loop. And the dude was with like five other guys. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
lady, you about to get me jumped? Like, I'm just taking a picture. He asked me to take a picture with you.
Yeah. That's her
But
fault.
besides
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
everything else, it's just been love, respect. People are pretty fucking cool about it.
So I think I asked this yesterday, but is there any talks about like a premiere? Because I know they usually do some promotion like as it gets closer to the show. Do you know anything about that? Would you want to promote the show? Like how are things looking with that?
Um, I haven't heard anything on a premiere. So when season two aired, that was during the strike.
Yep.
They said we couldn't promote the show. We we couldn't go to a premiere. We couldn't do anything that related to putting our show out. When we wrapped season two, it when we wrapped season two, we didn't have we had like a little wrap party. But when it came to the premiere, since we were in a strike, it violated as as being part of the union, it violated our duties to the union.
Private party?
So they didn't let us have a premiere. They didn't let us promote the show. Are we going to have a promo? I mean, are we going to go on talk shows? I would probably say you'll see Joseph promote it. You may see Diamond, Keys,
Yeah. Isaac
Keys,
Keys.
and Lofton.
Hmm.
But I think because they're the three main stars, you know what I mean? You're going to see a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if you're going to get a lot of the Garcias because that's the storyline that's kind of being kept under wrap. So they don't want us to like slip up and say something. So I don't know if that has to do with anything of us not promoting it, or maybe we will get the call and do the Hispanic market. I mean, we don't know. I know Gary and Joseph were pushing for promotions through the Spanish market because I don't think Stars understands how big power is amongst the Latino community.
They have no
Like,
idea.
it is huge,
They have no idea.
but they have no idea and
Yeah.
they don't pay attention to those numbers.
Yeah.
But when I tell you that, I mean, Mexicans love 50, bro,
Facts.
and they love everything 50 puts out.
Yep.
Like, Mexicans love 50, and that's why 50 has always opened up doors to Mexicans and Latins in general, Latinos in general. But Latinos love 50 and they love everything 50 puts out. And honestly, I don't just say it because I play Miguel, but if they did a spinoff on the Garcias, it would be a fucking hit. It would be a hit. I think the statistics of people, of the demographics that watch TV through streaming, through movies, through television, I believe Latinos make up almost 60% of people who go to the movies
Wow.
and stream shows. 60%. But nobody taps into that. You know what I mean?
So I
That's
was
why
just
I'm
tripping.
telling you, we are that forgotten demographic that they're barely letting in, but you need to tap into this, man, because we are some of the most loyal people when it comes to television. When we like something, we will religiously watch it. I can sit here and tell you I've watched everything Yellowstone. My wife and me watched everything Yellowstone, like religiously. Mayor of Kingston, 1883, 1923, Yellowstone, Tulsa King, Lioness, Landman, anything Tyler Sheridan does because we're fans, we watch it religiously. And that's the thing about our people, that anything that we like, we will pay the money. If we want to watch a movie, we'll watch a movie. We'll pay to go see the movie. But Stars doesn't see that. And I think that force could have been bigger if they just would have took time to really take the Latino community into consideration and said, hey, let's put a little bit of money behind this promo and see what happens. And we would have been bigger than we are. I mean, I got Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Colombians, Mexicans, Central Americans who love Miguel. And it's not the fact that, oh, well, he's Mexican, no, they just love Miguel. They see a person, brown skin, speak Spanish. They don't give a fuck that we're different people because we're not all the same people. Puerto Ricans are
Yeah.
not Mexicans. Mexicans are not Colombians. Colombians are not Cubans, and Cubans are not Dominican. But when we see somebody that we can relate to and we have a lot of similarities, we tend to gravitate to them and say, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna support him. And just like on TikTok, man, it's two different things. But on TikTok, I got some loyal fans, man, that go and they constantly see our things as soon as it comes out. And then I get messages,
Yep.
hey, how come you haven't done a video yet? Hey, woo, 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 woo. So these people, they will support you and they will rush
Yep.
out and but if you advertise a shirt, they'll buy the shirt. If you advertise the hat, they'll buy a hat. If you advertise shoes, if they follow you and they love you on TV, they're gonna buy it. They will spend the money if they love your work. And that's why I never understood why they didn't put money behind the Latino community. And it wasn't 50 because 50 don't have that much say anymore. Remember, Power is now owned, it's an entity that is now owned by Stars and Lionsgate.
Yep.
So they get the final say. 50 still in EP, but everything has to go through the studios. And if the studios say we're not putting any money behind that, and we're not putting any money behind that. But are they going to do a promo? I think you will see Joseph do some promo. You may see um, Isaac. You may see Chris. The Garcias, like I said, I think because they want to keep all that whole storyline under wrap, you may not see them. Are we going to have a premiere? I hope so.
I hope so. I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to pull up.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
hope we do. And if we do, I think it will be in Chicago.
Yeah.
They'll
You
rent
know what's
out
funny
some
about
kind of
this
theater
whole
in Chicago.
you mentioned them trying to keep the whole Garcia storyline under wraps, right? I don't know if you've seen this, but Stars did like it was like a little teaser. As soon as Raising Kanan ended, it was like a mix of like Raising Kanan season 5 and like a mix of 4 season 3. And they put in a short little scene. It was Tommy talking to Maria. And I was like, why the hell would they even do that? Like, why would they show that to him? Why would you spoil that? That shit pissed me off, man. I was like, this is just
And,
classic Stars once again. Just,
but you see what I mean? So they want to keep it under
yeah,
wrap, but then they throw that at you.
yeah.
And you're just like, but
like,
in the teaser
yeah.
that they released recently, where she's sitting there and she's holding a
A
gun.
gun? Yeah.
Who's she holding that gun on? And then they show you all, and it's like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but you got my lights from my joint. You think
Yeah.
people don't know that that's Miguel's joint right there?
like, they
So
must think we're
so
stupid.
I took where
Yeah.
where where you see Miguel being choked out. That's why I ran with it, and I'm like, does he die? Is
Yeah.
that what they're telling you? Are they spoiling it?
yeah.
But they want to keep that under wrap. Yet I don't know. I mean, is it purposely done, or did they do it by accident? Who knows? But I know what they want you to think is that Mireya's gone. But at this point, is she really? Like they're showing you different things that says she's not.
Yeah. That's that's one thing. I made a video about this earlier, and I said the stars' marketing is the one thing that I feel like is holding them back. Like the shows would be so much bigger if they just marketed it right. And someone had DM me. They were like, "Oh, bro, you need to chill on this stuff." I'm like, this is just business talk. This is just I'm looking at it from a business perspective. If they just pushed the shows the right way, the engagement would be way bigger. Like that's a fact. Like you said, the
Think
Latino
about
and
it.
Black community are the biggest fans of Power. Why would you not push it to them?
Do you remember the billboard on Ghost where it had the whole cast of Ghost,
Hmm.
and they would put it in New York and the subways in New York,
Yeah,
and it was Tyreek, and then everybody, Mary J, Woody, they were all lined up behind him, and they're all in like a red suit, like red suits.
yeah.
Now imagine doing that with CBI, with
Mm.
Tommy, the Garcias, and then you put those billboards and the subways in LA and Phoenix.
Phew. That'd be fire.
Now you're giving power. What the fuck is power?
Yep.
Oh, they got Mexicans on power. They got Latinos on power. See, so those are the things that I don't understand. Why? Who, like you said, who is doing the fucking marketing? Because
I want to know.
this could be a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a marketing director, and I'm like, shit. If you just Chicago, put them all in Chicago. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep.
Miami. You go to these. You okay? Fine. You don't want to send us on a press tour. I get it. But pay to put some. You know what I mean? You ain't got to pay an actor to do,
Yeah.
do to do promos. Just do the billboards
Do something.
and see the response that you're going to get from the Latino community.
Yep.
But why don't they do it? I wish I had an answer for you, because it's the
Yeah.
same question that I ask as a fan of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very frustrating as someone who supports the show and sees the vision. When you put it, it's like it's like you go to the gym, you work out, and then you go eat junk food. Like you put in all this
Exactly.
work to do a good product, but you don't push it out. But we'll see. I'm curious. Out of all the seasons of Force, which do you think has been the best season? Obviously, we haven't seen season 3 yet, but from your perspective, based on everything you filmed, which is the best?
You know, I think I I would say 3,
Okay.
because I feel like season 2 was a reboot of Force.
Yep.
It was definitely a reboot. I I watched season 1 because I had just finished binge watching the regular Power, and I didn't like it, man. But it was still
Yeah.
Tommy. I was still tuning in because it was Tommy.
Yep.
And Tommy was, I want to say season 1, Tommy was like maybe 75% Tommy. And then the other 25%. And if you ask Joseph, he'll tell you that it just felt forced sometimes. And then came in Gary Lennon for season 2. And I feel like he rebooted it.
Yep.
And season 3 kind of hit its tipping point, but still is going to leave a lot of open questions.
Fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
No
That's
different
one
than
thing that
Ghost. I mean, that's what they did with
yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Kane was a fan favorite, and it's like your first question is, what the fuck happened to Kane? He's on the run.
Yep.
What happens now? And those are like the questions that I ask with like a spin-off. Let's just say they take Tommy back to New York. He
Yep.
faked his death in New York.
Exactly. Makes no
So are
sense.
we going to act like he never faked his death? And see, I'm talking to you as a fan. I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not talking as an employee or anything. I'm asking these questions as a fan, where I
Yeah.
would much rather see Tommy go to the West Coast at this
Yep.
point.
Hmm.
Is he
So,
going to revisit old foes? You know what I mean? It's like, and then you got all these actors from the original Power that you could still recycle.
mm,
That's the thing that it
yep,
leaves so many questions. Okay, so where's Stupid? Stupid
facts.
was a character that I actually kind of liked.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
So it's just it's those are the questions that are left with a show that you left undeveloped.
Hmm.
I think if you ask me, Ghost, the last season of Ghost was very rushed,
Oh, absolutely,
right?
absolutely. You could tell.
Right?
It's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the funny thing is, I never watched an episode. I just went back and did the recaps. And then I would, and then I would watch the people talk about it.
Yeah.
And everyone who had anything to say about that show was like, it's underwritten,
Yeah.
it is rushed. They're trying to squeeze so much in it because it's the last season.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do that with Kanan.
No, I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
And
Sasha Penn is pretty good about that.
with Force, there
Yeah.
wasn't it wasn't rushed. It hit its tipping point, but I feel like there was there is unanswered questions.
Mm, man, I can't believe that show really got ended after 3 seasons. I was thinking that all of these shows was gonna go 4, 5, maybe 6. Like it was when Joseph Zakor put out that video. I think it was maybe like a year ago. He was like, "Oh, Tommy's journey ended in Chicago." We're all like, "What the fuck? Like, why?" And the thing is, there was no promo for season 2, like you said, but you guys still got renewed. So to me, I'm thinking like, you guys did no promo and the viewership was still pretty good to get season 3. Why would you stop? And then obviously, you talked about the business and them doing the spinoffs and stuff like that. I'm curious if you were the showrunner of Power, what would you do to fix this? What would you do?
If well, first off, you're getting it. See, you could definitely take season 3
Mm-hmm.
and do a full blown war, and
Mm-hmm.
you can carry that war 2 good seasons. Either way, however you want to write it. You know what I mean? Miguel versus CBI, Miguel versus Tommy, Tommy versus CBI. Any way you're going to take that war,
Yep.
because there was differences between Tommy and Diamond towards the end,
Yeah.
and obviously the differences between Tommy and Miguel. So you have all that. You can stretch just that by itself. You make alliances, you go to war. You got 2 seasons right there. That gives you season 3, season 4, and you want to make it short. You tie it all in season 5.
Okay.
You hit the tipping point in season 4, and then season 5 is where you start tying everything else in. That's how I would have done it.
Yeah.
That hate between Tommy and Miguel, you could do a 3-way war. CBI versus Tommy versus Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
You have two cartels in Chicago. You have the Marquez. You have Che. You know what I mean? It's like you have all these pieces that you can play with and definitely squeeze out a good 3 seasons if you want to keep it short. If you want to go for a long ride, I could have wrote it out 6, 7 seasons. But I don't think it like I said, it wasn't the fact that Gary Lennon didn't want to do it. It was just business aspect.
Business. Yeah. You mentioned the Che
And
character.
that's why I say
Yeah.
when we were
Mhm.
having the conversation about the union, where they sat there and they said, oh, we're fighting for your livelihood and we're doing this for you. No, you're doing this because you're enjoying going out to these high-end resorts on our dime. You're enjoying going to Tribeca. You're enjoying
Yeah.
going to Cannes. You're enjoying sitting there talking about how you're that savior. It's that savior mentality, bro, that
Hmm.
I can't stand. I'm your savior. I know what's good for you. I'm fighting for your livelihood. Well, motherfucker, I haven't worked in a year. How did you fight for my livelihood?
Yep.
and you got my series
Yep.
canceled. How did you fight for my livelihood? You know what I mean? I'm saying
Yeah.
the quiet part out loud right now.
Absolutely.
I'm that 25% that says it out loud, not the 50% that got brainwashed to believe they were fighting for our livelihood. I
Yep.
knew this all along. I
Mhm.
voted against the strike. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna sit here and tell
Yeah.
you I voted for the strike. I voted against the strike because I knew nothing was gonna change.
Mhm.
They were gonna change and they were gonna throw some breadcrumbs like they always do. We're pigeons, bro.
Yeah. Here.
Little bread, throw those pigeons. They're pigeon heads. Throw 'em some crumbs. And now I ain't worked in a year. And I give you an example, man. Statistics show at the beginning of this year, no, at the beginning of 2023, that was the strike. Right
Mhm.
before the strike, there was 300 series in production. 300 series. Imagine how much work that was. And I'm talking
Wow.
about graphers, sound, catering,
Mhm.
hotels, actors, everything. 300 series in production. At the beginning of this year, there was only 90 series in production, with 10 of them wrapping up. That's what this strike and our high ups in SAG did to our industry. They didn't fight for our livelihood. They messed up our livelihood. And now the guys like me who were coming off of working have been unemployed. And all the jobs that are coming, I don't fault them, man. I would be casting the guys who've been working since the 90s too.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when you sit there and you say, "Oh, I'm fighting for your livelihood. I'm fighting for your livelihood." Where's my livelihood? Doing TikTok in Yuma? So I say the quiet part out loud, man. I don't care. I am what I am. I'm real. What you see is what you get.
I like that. I like that. You can't hold back the truth. Somebody got to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm very much like that on my platform as well. People don't like that too. That's what I kind of been realizing on
But
social
we're
media.
we're
Don't
we're in an era now
Yeah.
where people want to make their own realities.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? They want to live in their own realities. They want to they not stretch the truth. They want to damn near break the truth, make their own truth, and tell you this is what it is. And if you don't
Yep.
agree with it, you are outcasted. And you know what I
Yep.
mean? I I like my truth in my face, and I like my racism front and center.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's that's just how life should be, man. It's what it is. The truth is truth.
Absolutely. But unfortunately, that we're in a soft era, as they say, where the truth is kind of being shoved under a rug. Do you feel like they can recover from this writer strike, or do you feel like this is something that's kind of changed the industry forever?
It is all going to depend, man, because see, and this was my fear.
Hmm.
We come out of the strike, we don't recover the first 2 years. We start recovering the year prior to negotiating again, because next summer our contract is up, and we're right back into negotiations again.
Wow.
What are you going to do? Hold out for another year and fight for our livelihood again?
Yep. Yep.
Might as well just give up and give everything to AI.
Yeah. Speaking of AI, what do you make of AI? Are you a fan of that, or are you just like, "Ah, I don't like this"?
You know what, man? If right now a studio came and said, "Hey, we want to get rights to your actor, blah blah blah. You no longer have to work, but we're gonna pay you royalties. We're gonna pay you this." I'm all for it, man. If we didn't do anything, and see, this is the thing. In order to have fought an AI, we should have done this back when the Terminator came out. It wasn't just a movie.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah, yeah.
mean? We
That's real shit.
knew
Yeah.
we knew what was coming. when
Yeah.
us wanting to act like, oh, it was just a movie. No, it wasn't just a movie. They've been telling us what the technology that they've had
Hmm.
since the dawn of day. I remember watching, it was an Enemy of the State with Will Smith.
Mm. Hmm.
They had that technology where they can literally zoom in through the satellites on a penny.
Yeah.
They had that technology since the 60s, man. They were introducing it to us in the 90s. So if we were going to fight AI, we had to take a stand against it in the 90s and
Yeah.
started fighting it since then. Now we want to fight it once it's here, once it's making corporations billions of dollars, once it's
Yep.
replacing workers, saving money to these corporations, making everything easier. y- You cannot fight it no more. We can try to control it. We can try to control it. We can try to pass certain laws, but it's here to stay and it's going to continue to evolve and it's going to get smarter and smarter and smarter. And at first I was like, okay, give AI 15 years, it's going to be incredible. Honestly, now I'm thinking give AI 3 years
Oh
and
yeah.
it's going to be where I thought it's going to be in 15 years.
Maybe 1 2 years. The way the stuff that I'm
I
seeing and
mean,
I'm hearing.
look
Yeah.
at there's TikToks being made with just AI. There's people making thousands of dollars with doing AI videos,
Absolutely. Yep.
and they don't look human. But if it's funny, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And that is the
Yeah.
problem. We didn't fight it then. Now we want to fight it when we can't stop it.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Way too late.
Judgment Day is here.
Are you? I'm curious. Like, are you someone who's like, well, now that we can't fight it, I'm going to join in and try to implement it and become successful with it? Or are you like, nah, that ain't my way of life. I'm just going to be a bystander.
Use it in the right formats. I think
Mhm.
it can be an ally and an asset.
Yep.
I personally wouldn't use it to replace talent.
Facts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Hmm.
we can use it to where the effects can look that much better, where the editing process would speed up by tenfold,
Oh, yep.
where the color correction and all that would be perfect. I mean,
Hmm.
by all means, I would use it. But where it's going to replace talent and replace people, no. More where people can use it to make their job easier. I'm
Yep.
all for that. Like if you're
Agreed.
an editor and there's an AI program that instead of editing this movie is going to take you 6 months, that you can do it in two. Hey, let's do it. We can
Yep.
release it that much faster and move on to the next project.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that would
The
be the
only thing
best way.
is that in in humanity, man, we got a tendency of always using it for the bad.
Yeah.
We look
Yeah. I
at it and
mean,
we're like, well, we can replace talent, we can replace this, we can save that, and we lose that human touch, that human emotion, that human feel to your film.
yep.
Art art cannot be artificially intelligent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because art doesn't come from just something that you insert into a program and you create. Art comes from the soul. Art comes from your heart. Art comes from a feeling, an emotion that you put out. Can it be replicated? I'm sure AI at one point will be able to replicate it,
Hmm.
but you're losing that emotion, that soul, that heart that only I can put into Miguel.
Yep.
If we're going, like I said, if we're going to use it to cut the editing process, the color correction process, the music process, and make all that better and enhance it, and it's going to make the people that you hired's job easier, then yes, let's go for it. But not when we have to replace the human emotion.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. If it's going to replace humans and their jobs, I don't think that's going to be better for society. I mean, even the editing aspect, like that could replace people's jobs too. If I can get an
Yeah.
AI to edit my movie instead of an editor, I mean, that's going to save me time and money. But I think that's all the questions I have for now. Is there any other topics or things you wanted to get out the way that you wanted to get off your chest?
No, man. I mean, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's always a pleasure to do
Absolutely.
this. You know, um, Maybe after episode 1 airs, you got TikTok, I got TikTok. We'll go live and we'll do a live podcast.
Oh hell
I
yeah!
would really like to do that.
I'm gonna hit you up right after that first episode. When the
Yeah.
trailer come out, I'm gonna hit you up because
Hey,
we're
when the
gonna have some
trailer,
things to talk
I'll tell
about.
you what. Let's do a quick mini podcast on the trailer. If it comes out tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. If it doesn't come out tomorrow, we'll do it as soon as it hits,
All right, cool.
and we'll talk about it.
Sounds good. Thank you, man. I really
And then
appreciate
at
this.
that point, then I know if there's certain things that I can tell you about season 3. Because if they already
Mm,
told you about it, then I can talk
yeah.
about it.
Okay. Yeah. 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 We don't want to. We don't want to get you hit with no violations or nothing.
Not just hey, if there is a spinoff and there's a chance of me coming back, I don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah, we need you in that
I'd
power
like to
legacy,
do
man.
another season of Miguel.
Yeah, we need you in that power legacy. All righty.